it is not a news, it's not an event that somebody will say he doesn't know or he's not aware of. Even in the rural areas, our rural communities are also aware of the current Tinubu's administrative agenda for the reform of tax. But I would like to remind us that tax reform, or tax in particular, is not a new thing. It's something that has been there since before independence, from the colonial era, even before the colonial era. As somebody who came from a rural community, I can still remember in those years in the 80s, in our villages, when the Dagachis, the Sarakis, the emirs will impose tax on each and every household. And even if you cannot pay that tax, you have to go and fetch whatever business you are doing in order to remit what is due for you as tax. And likewise, as recent as possible, if we remember the last regime, the last Buhari's administration, one of the executive governors, the former governor of Kaduna State, Malam Ahmed El-Rufai, when he came, he reminded us of the lingering payment of ground rate and tenement rent, which he has imposed and which he has made compulsory. And we have seen how he has reformed and developed Kaduna as a result of the tax that he has been able to be collecting, and he has also bolstered, interest of companies as well as, industries that have come to Kaduna to invest, pay tax, and equally remit to the coffers of the government, so that the government can generate revenue that it can use to develop, the society or the state. So I just give us a brief, background of tax collection. Like I said, in our rural communities, we can equally remember of those days or those years when those people that pass with their cows, with their cattle, with their sheep, they cannot pass a village without paying what we call in Hausa jangali. That is the tax that is imposed on animals. All of us are aware of this. Unfortunately, if we remember still on those days, we knew that we used to see windmills wells around, even in the remotest, places. We see windmills and also places where animals can go and drink. We can also see boreholes. We can see a lot of infrastructural facilities provided for different sort of communities. I am sorry to say that in those days, a dispensary is better than a general hospital now. But what is happening now? Our fears are, if these taxes are collected, how judiciously are they going to be utilized for the benefit of the taxpayer? I'm not a tax expert. I'm a communication, I can say student. I cannot say expert. I'm still learning, despite the fact that I've done my first, second, and third degree in the communication realm, because knowledge is a continuous process until you go back to the grave. So what I want us to understand here is, I would like to give us a highlight on the imperatives of media for the present administration of Ahmed Bola Tinubu. How can they succeed in this? And also, how can this agenda be taken to the latter, to the ruralists, to the people at the lowest level, to understand its benefit and importance? And there is no any other way than utilizing the advantage of the media. The media is the fourth estate of the realm, we all know. Apart from the legislators, the judiciary, and the executive, the next powerful arms of the government or in the society, which plays a key role in providing information, education, as well as entertainment, and also sustaining various elements within the society is the media. So if the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration can properly utilize the advantage that are bound by using media in order to explain and to tell people how this reform is going to be carried out and how it is going to benefit, how it's going to be beneficial to the generality of the people in the country, I'm sure they are going to succeed. We've recently concluded a training of community radio, staff that we established like 5 community radio stations using an example of, irrigation and agricultural sectors where we have hundreds of thousands of people that are providing food for the nation. But unfortunately, as time goes on, the land that we have, which has been very fertile land, has been eroded. The farming has been scattered. So we now said, okay, how can we revive this? How can we revamp the agricultural and irrigation sector? We're lucky that we had a transformative irrigation project, which was saddled with responsibility of rehabilitating major dams, as well as establishment of, new form of good agricultural practices, or what the agriculturalists call GAP. And we were able over the years to disseminate relevant information to the people in the rural communities, and that has seen us to establishment of community radio station that we train people, and we equally hand over these radio stations to them. They own them, they manage them, they control them, and they operate them. So likewise, as a government, if a project can do this to hundreds of thousands of people, government has stood a better chance and ability and opportunity, as well as power, to utilize the advantages of using media. And why we use radio is because we conducted researches and found that there is no any other tool or any other medium that people of Nigeria listen to or get their information from like radio. Radio took lead. And currently in Nigeria, we have over 600 different radio stations. And in 2010, I can remember there was an international conference that we conducted in Osman Danfodio Research and Energy Center. As at then, in a paper I presented on climate change and desertification, the imperative of media in our rural communities, I was given statistics that we currently have 40 radio stations, and now we are talking about over 600 radio stations. So if the federal government can utilize the advantages that the media have, I'm sure they can successfully implement not only the tax reform agenda, but any other policy or any program by the federal government that it wants to cascade to the understanding and comprehension of the ordinary Nigerians. So, because we have a lot to discuss, I'm sure there is going to be plenary sessions and panels. We are going to further interact and share more knowledge. Thank you very much for your time.